This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Power on. Power on.
It's time to take your place on the starting grid and get ready for Racer Radio. Your host, Dave Stahl, about to take you for a white-knuckled lap around the motorsports industry, covering everything from top-notch national drivers and crew chiefs right down to your local kid racers and racetracks. Watch for the apex, because here comes Racer Radio with Dave Stahl.
Folks, welcome to Racer Radio, FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The answer.
Brought to you by Southwest Point of Sale. If you got a business, grocery store, liquor store, what have you, and you're having trouble getting cashiers, Southwest Point of Sale has the answer for you. Give them a call. They'll come out to your business. That's 800-540-2149. Take a look at your facility, and if it works, it'll cost you no more than the price of a cash register. Plus, you get 7-day, 24-hour-day service. Jeff and Mark have been doing this for more years than I care to admit, all the way back to 75. 800-540-2149. Get smart. Or southwestpos.com. Black Forest Motorsports, if you got a BMW Mini or a Porsche, over 40-plus years experience from the dealer level, they could be your alternative. And if you decide you want to stretch the legs of either one of those three vehicles, they're big into motorsports. Black Forest Motorsports. In fact, go to blackforest.com, blackforest.com. All right, we got the girl back again. We got our good buddy Scott Burnworth.
And his lovely wife,
And
Debbie.
his lovely
They're
wife.
back.
They're
How you guys doing?
back.
So good
Doing
to have
good,
you.
doing good. So it looks like you're busy. You got enough
Yeah.
paperwork on the table. You think you were in the government. So what's coming up?
Coming up, SoCal Vintage Spring Classes at Verona Oaks Raceway,
Okay.
May 7th.
So let's explain to people, what is Vintage MX? Who is that for?
Pretty much, well, it's mostly older folks, but, I mean, there's a lot of younger guys that do it now, too.
Is it
So,
because they're riding a vintage motorcycle?
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think, isn't
Yeah.
that really the key? It's not necessarily the rider has to be vintage.
It's the motorcycle.
The
yeah.
motorcycle
Good
has to be
clarification, Dave.
vintage.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was a guy that just raced an ARCA race yesterday. He was 90 years old.
What?
So it's not the age,
Wow.
as much as it is, well, look at your buddy,
Lars
Larson.
He's
Oh, yeah.
only 81.
Love Lars.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get her to build a tribute car for Lars. Because we had him on, and he was talking about he had a Mercedes-Benz taxi with a trailer hitch, and he'd put his bike on the back and sleep
Yeah.
in the back of the taxi.
I remember listening to that.
So I've got a trailer, and I'm trying to hook her up for a monkey, and she's got a Mercedes.
He wants me to put a hitch on our Mercedes.
And then that way she's got and paint on the side the
There you go.
Lars Larson special.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
So it's going to be out of Verona Oaks, and if nobody's ever been to Verona Oaks, that is a beautiful location.
Nice.
Been there, well, the motocross track's been there since 1973.
Right.
The
And there's
big one?
two. There's
Yeah.
a big and isn't there a big and a little?
There's a kind of an amateur track, like a learning track, and then a main track with more obstacles.
Right. And God, since 19 and it's a great place to take your kids. It's
Yeah, if you're learning how to ride, it's a great place.
Yeah.
'Cause, like, actually, Britney rode on that track a couple of weeks ago. It's little kids on there. If you're just learning,
and then Britney.
and Britney.
What is it? 150s and below? I think
I think so.
that
Yeah.
what it is.
and
Yeah.
Brittany's up there just screaming through the turns.
It's
I
fun.
just
I-
have a 100. So.
I put on some mini races there on that little track, and
really?
it was so fun.
It's not that big. How many people were on that track at one time?
Oh.
Remember?
We had a lot, maybe 40. I don't know.
More
my
than you-
gosh.
yeah,
too
It's
many.
not that big, but it is great, as you said, if someone's learning or getting herself
'cause
back into racing.
There's not
or
very
riding.
many places to go learn, down
So-
here or down south.
Let's go back to Vintage MX. What is vintage? What year bike to what year bike?
Yes.
Well,
Or do you have
Oh,
more
he's-
classes?
He's organized.
There's a bunch of classes.
So there's a ton of-
there's vintage, which in our race, it's 75 and older bikes,
Okay.
and then Evolution, which is 76 to 83, and then Revolution 84 to 95. So we have different.
Cool.
So what if you're an enthusiast if you're interested in doing this, probably need to go to the website.
Yeah,
and look at the breakdown
or Instagram and
But I mean to get that breakdown that you have there.
But there's different clubs have different breakdowns. So ours is a little more loose because we don't want a million classes and a class for each bike there is. So
and then there's only 2 each class.
Yeah, so we spread it out a little bit.
Yeah, and because really, it's not necessarily about walking away with $250,000.
No.
It's walking away with the fact that you had more fun than you could change.
Vintage racing is 50% racing and 50% having fun and
reminiscing.
And another 50% BS and saying you did way better than
We're at
that.
150 right now.
So I guess because are you starting to find more elderly baby boomers, male and female, coming to these events?
A lot of guys are getting more into the little bit newer bikes, like the Evolution and Revolution, like the
newer bikes,
the
80s.
Yeah.
The 80s bikes. A lot of people have those bikes. They're easier to get parts for.
Yeah, that's true.
People have laying in their garage.
So I'm still looking for a Honda 305 Scrambler. So
okay.
I mean, wouldn't that be the worst bike to do a vintage MS? But I would do it in a heartbeat. I used to think that bike would walk on water. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
And they had it do it a couple times.
We get a few like old Triumphs and BSAs and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. But those bikes were kind of designed and built to race.
Those were like the first bikes that were designed to race.
Purpose built.
In Europe. Yeah.
305 Scrambler, that was more of a looky-loo bike. I mean, it had the cool pipes down the side. Yeah. But it wasn't performance oriented. It would take up the rear.
Are you riding? Are you racing? Are you going to be too busy running around?
I kind of got hurt last time. Hurt my knee, so it's feeling pretty good.
Which category would you be in?
I go with
the
Revolution because I have 87 RM 125.
All right.
Oh, a little 125.
Built by the factory Faxon, who's listening right now.
All right, Mr. Faxon.
Shout out.
Ronnie and Gary.
Did you hand him your checkbook and say, if I lose, it better be me?
No, he wouldn't
do that. No. That's the way you do it.
I know that's your MO.
It works perfectly. You go broke, and if you lose, they will explain to you how it was your fault.
Yeah.
Trust me.
I'm still waiting for the Suzuki check to come in.
Yeah, right. Still waiting. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. Do you? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Is this a 1 day, 2 day, 3 day?
1 day. It's on Sunday, but we have open practice all day on Saturday, which is like any bike, modern, whoever.
Do you encourage spectators?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if you have an interest. Because this is where you'll get everything you want.
If you're thinking about, trying it, go out there and check out the bikes,
Half the people out there will loan you their bike.
Exactly.
I mean, really.
Very friendly. Yeah.
How far do you have to fall? I mean, come on. It's only a foot. You going to have vendors?
Not a lot of vendors, mostly like sponsors. And we'll have a barbecue. We have our friend Derek.
Waits till the end
barbecue
to talk about the food. He waits till the end.
We're food driven around here.
Yeah, we are driven.
He has a smoker trailer, and it's
See,
wait, what? That's going to be there?
He leaves all the best for last.
Probably should have started with the name of the event, the date, and the food. Yeah. Just like that.
And then go on and talk about the boring part, the motorcycle racing.
No boring. Just,
that's all the boring part. Then get back to the food.
For the just spectator aspect, because the oak trees, there's going to be shade. Walking around the pits, there's going to be all these classic bikes.
My favorite tracks as far as like the pits,
and that's a lot. That's a lot to choose from.
Yeah,
you
have a lot of tracks.
I've been a lot
That's a good point, Dave.
It's all about the oaks and the nice, and you kick back.
They call that
nice and cool.
Ambiance.
Yeah,
the cool air blowing through there. And
plus, I grew up racing there, so it kind of has a place in my heart.
And the smell of two-stroke.
Two-stroke.
I know. I wish they'd make an aftershave.
You're not. I think candles.
That little spurts here of
Only
two-cycle
if Michelle
motor oil.
likes it. What are the times? What time should racers show up?
Well, wait. Before you do that, let's take a break. Come back. Got to pay the bills.
Yes.
Racer Radio, FM 96.1 AM 1170.
The answer.
All right, folks, welcome back to Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Hey, this segment's brought to you by El Cajon Ford, where absolutely nobody treats you better than El Cajon Ford's over there the other day. Broncos, man, it looks like you should put a corral around all those Broncos. Mustangs.
Ooh.
I think he's even got a 500,000 horsepower Mustang sitting on the showroom floor, if I'm not mistaken. But hey, new or used, that's the place to go. Family owned and operated. Not many of those left nowadays. Go to elcajonmotors.com, elcajonmotors.com. And when you're out at Barona Speedway, look for Mr. Dyke, because he's always as close to the front as he can get.
And PJ.
Yeah.
We know PJ's got too much credit. We got to help the old man out.
I think I saw the old man at practice or at the race last week.
Yeah, I've had a feeling he was going to be out there.
The races, yeah.
All right, so the schedule's up.
Yes.
What's coming up?
April 29th, next Saturday, IMCA Sport Mods, IMCA Sport Compacts, Pony Stocks, Pure Stocks, Dwarf Cars, Mini Dwarfs, and Junior Sprints.
Did I hear dwarf?
You did. You did.
Are we practicing on Friday?
I don't know if there's a practice. I don't know if there's a practice.
Isn't that
but
always
I'm
your
racing
question?
on Saturday.
Isn't that
And
always?
it's Debbie's birthday.
Debbie!
All
Hey, speaking of birth, so we have Debbie's birthday is what, Saturday or Friday?
The 29th.
Oh, Saturday. Happy early birthday. And who else has a birthday, Scott?
Today is Tommy Croft's birthday, the Tomahawk.
Happy birthday, Tommy Hawk. Yay.
Absolutely.
21 again.
Yeah.
So now where are you going to take this lovely lady on
know,
her
it was
birthday? And if you say
still working it.
racetrack,
Still work. Yeah.
Like we did last year.
is that what you did last year?
Actually, no, we went out to a nice dinner at Barona Casino. Yeah.
Oh, they have a steakhouse downstairs.
It was nice.
Yeah, I hear that's pretty good. I've never.
Oh. I go there once a year when my girls come watch me race. It's nice.
Yeah.
What do you want them to do?
Turn on his mic there, sunshine. Jeez Louise. Bored off.
We'll be in full race mode.
Yeah.
So
We
Yeah.
got something
hard
after
to
the race.
celebrate.
Do you race?
I do not.
But you work your tail off on those races I've seen.
But have you ever wanted to race?
No.
Not even a desire.
No.
Not even thinking about it. Sat on it, revved it up, didn't do nothing.
I tried to
it
get.
once.
I tried.
How far did you
Didn't
get?
end well.
How far did you
Oh.
Looped out.
get? Yeah.
Wow. Hey.
On a
Go
little
big or
50.
go
Well,
home.
Well, you know why? Because it's all, you were all acceleration.
Was it a two-stroke? Did you just like...
No, little CRF 50. Oh. Yeah. That I
okay.
bought
One
for my
and done.
daughter.
One and done.
Bought for his
Do you like
daughter.
watching him race?
I do. Yeah.
That's good.
Does it scare you?
No, not too much.
Because he bounces pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll
Not too often.
he sticks
Knock
to the
on wood.
sticks to the hay bales.
Nice.
These guys that are
I think
racing.
that was your nickname one time, wasn't it?
Yeah. In San Diego Supercross, one time I hit the hay bale in the
Yeah.
first corner, and my brother gave me that nickname,
Of what?
Still has it.
hay bale.
Oh.
Don't you hate it when people stick you with it
Yeah.
and you can't get rid of it no
Yeah.
matter what you
Yeah.
did? So
Did we get times? I know I stuck that one out there.
So the race on May 7th, practice starts about 8:30, and then the first race is at 9:30 to 10 approximately.
So you got to bring a bike. It has to be teched, I'm assuming.
No tech.
Good question.
Well, if there's stuff falling off, we probably won't let you out there.
Why do I think of the fastest Indian where he has to put shoe polish
Yeah.
on the
Because there is
tires?
some pretty nasty bikes that show up.
Some people come up with a little modified, shall we say?
Little baling wire and
Oh,
duct tape.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where am I not
Duct
seeing?
tape and zip ties.
But you know what? Hey, it's you're kind of out there on your own. I mean,
Yeah,
you
that's-
sign a waiver.
That's like the good thing about it. Guys work on their own bikes.
Right.
When
Some
they're
have
old
higher
that,
qualities than others.
There's parts not available, so they have to make something. So
Or they can't see it
yeah.
Because of their age?
because of the age.
Okay.
They can barely see the track. So how many bikes? How many bikes would you say you get at an event, generally speaking? And is it bumped?
bikes.
I'm sure it's bumped up since COVID.
Usually, like our biggest event was about 450 entries. And that was
Wow.
in Glen Helen, so that's probably a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's a bigger
little bit better
venue facility. So maybe
So 200 to
close
300.
Close to 300 at Verona, maybe. Hopefully.
You have any legends coming to draw more
we got,
spectators?
Kurt Nicole.
Lars Larson.
Lars, he's in Sweden.
He's
yeah.
pay his way back.
He's the
Yeah, we
snowbird.
got Kurt Nicole, ex-GP racer, Doug Dubach, local Ron Lachine, Tommy Croft. Tommy probably won't be riding, but there'll be some other guys hanging out. You know, you
Yeah.
never know.
Nothing like beating a pro.
Always show up.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
Man, you could
That's why a lot of them don't like to race anymore because everyone wants to be in.
Well, hello.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, come on. Yeah, but see, you know why they don't like it? Because they don't want to lose.
Well, yeah.
They don't want to
That's
get
true.
beat.
Go
They've been living.
competitive.
It's true. I
They've
hate-
been living
I hate
that.
losing.
They've been. Yeah. See,
Yep.
that's why I don't race anything anymore because
It's a
second
bounty.
is the first. See, you do it just for stress. I do it to win, and if I can't win, then I don't want to do it. Isn't that terrible?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scott gets
I
it.
get
Scott gets it, but yet he still goes out there and he gives it 110%.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, well, I've just decided I'm not going to put up with it. I just keep my trophies. I keep staring at them and
Dusting them off.
dusting them off, keep them all nice and shiny. So, and if you're gonna, that's right, you're gonna feed people. Tell us about the food guy. Who is this
Oh,
guy?
he's on food again, Debbie.
Well, let's give this guy a little credit.
It's our friend Derek. He's actually a realtor also.
Are you a realtor too?
We're no,
Oh, you said too. You're not a realtor, are you?
no, I'm not.
In addition
No,
to smoking meat.
I was gonna
does the
say, who in the
meat.
hell else
That's
in this room's a
it's his
realtor?
hobby. It's his hobby doing the barbecue. So
That's
he loves
the
doing it.
best.
Yeah, but he's a realtor also.
Yeah. So he'll sell you a
Come
house
check it out.
and
Yeah,
give
cook
you a
up some-
rib. All right, so we got that.
You said pre-enter online by May 1st.
Yeah,
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah, it saves us a lot of time, you know, and then we do some pre-entry raffles. So like I've been doing these giveaways. Like if you
Oh, yeah,
if you
I
pre-enter,
saw
we do
some.
a random pick,
Oh.
and we got some good stuff to give away. So
Cool.
You're
Sign
really
up
good
online.
on. You're great on
Yeah.
Facebook. How can
Oh,
people
thank you.
follow
I'm
this
okay.
event on Facebook?
SoCal Vintage MX Classic on Instagram and Facebook, and then my Instagram and Facebook, Scott Burnworth.
Yeah, no S.
Oh, we
not
do.
No
Burns.
Burnworth.
Burnworth.
I figured that one out.
Yes.
No, and I appreciate the shirts because I tell you, it's like I go to a restaurant and they're selling their shirts. What the hell are you selling your shirts for? What do you
To
mean, man?
advertise.
I go, am I not a good customer? He said, well, yeah, you're one of my best. Well, give me a freaking shirt. I'll wear it, and I'm a billboard.
go.
Well, and you post things on Facebook
Yeah,
too.
and I won't ask for a discount on the food. Just give me a shirt
Yeah.
that, I've had more people.
You could wear that next weekend instead of your Hawaiian shirt
Oh.
on KUSI.
Dude, that's 23 years. No, you need to make a Hawaiian shirt out of
okay.
MX.
I got a week.
I can hook you up.
That's funny.
But no, I've not worn a jacket in 23 years.
You don't want to cover up the Hawaiian shirts?
I just never. I mean, and it's been cold. It's been rainy.
You're like Dirt Dude when it comes to that.
Well, he gets it. He totally gets it. So we got another. Scott's going to talk to us, and then you have another event coming up. Why don't you kind of tease us on what that is?
Yeah. It's a Carlsbad MX reunion. It's kind of just a get-together, a fun get-together. We have a bike show. Kind of everybody from the old, Carlsbad track, racers, friends, family. There was car racing there too. Drag races,
drag racing.
Whoever. But this is mainly for motocross.
Right. That was
people.
wide world of sports.
Exactly. Yeah.
That place was
Huge.
famous.
That was like one of the biggest races I first went to as a kid, and I was just like,
like a kid in a candy store.
It seemed like there was a million people there.
And it was beautiful the way it was cut into the hillsides.
Yeah.
I mean,
awesome.
So what date is that?
That's October 1st, Sunday from 12 to 5
Okay,
p.m.
well, we got to get you on KUSI.
That's free. That's free admission.
Wow.
Yeah.
Get some KUSI, bring some vintage bikes down.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Do they have to contact you ahead of time if they want to bring a bike?
Yeah, just through the my
Facebook.
Facebook. Yeah. It's pretty loose, but...
So if someone showed up, you wouldn't turn them away.
no.
But
But
it's
this
nice
is
to know
so
ahead of time.
good that you're doing this. I mean,
It's fun.
it is because, you're also giving back to the community that got you where you're at today.
That's a good point.
Well, I like to keep the history going of the sport. I love the old vintage stuff. I wear a Jofa and an open face myself sometimes, and Yeah, it's fun.
I'm right there. No, dude, I am right there with you.
I like nostalgia.
Yeah, and so she has been the best when it comes to bringing nostalgic people in to do radio. She gets it.
She does a great job.
Because I've told her 100 times, we got to get these guys and girls on radio. We got to get them on tape. We got it so we can preserve it. Lars Larson, we bring it up all the time.
I'm trying to get like younger people to race vintage bikes.
Right.
And a lot of them are we got some younger kids coming up, super fast guys. And now it's like actually cool to ride old bikes. So a lot of people are doing it. So.
Well, but it's exposure. It's getting on radio. Exactly. It's getting on TV. But she has been. Who's the lady that was a skateboarder?
Gail Webb.
Gail Webb. Yeah.
Gail Webb. What an amazing interview. And there's amazing. So many of these. That's why.
And Michael. -1, Michael.
Oh, yeah, Michael.
He's going to race too.
Is he going to race too?
He does. He's racing all the time.
He's awesome.
And bring him to KUSI as well because when people see people like Michael, it's like, I could do that.
Yeah, the guy is an inspiration.
A lot of people
on many levels.
In many levels. I'm telling you. Now, I'm excited because I'm so thrilled, one, to know you, and two, to help you get the word out.
Well, we really appreciate it.
You have too much paper, but that's another story.
I'll cut down on the
paper. God, you're killing a tree.
Scott.
Yeah, I see the notes. And
I got to do it for myself.
And pictures and drawings.
I get it.
Highlight.
I have a binder in my backpack from our last interview.
Why does that not surprise you?
Yeah. It was funny because in the green room, he was talking about how easy putting this reunion together is compared to the race that's coming up in May. And I wanted to ask.
Why is that?
You kind of answered.
Because, there's, with the track, you got to have insurance, you got to have staff, you got to have scoring, you got to have entry, you got to, like the reunions just show up and have fun.
But yet you still do this classic race, and it's like, why?
It's a lot of work.
I think you do it.
People wouldn't realize.
You do it, I think, to see the old bikes and see the old riders. If you didn't care about the riders and you didn't care about the vintage bikes, you wouldn't do it. You know what I mean?
Preserving the history of it, maybe,
because you're not making any money.
Not much,
if any. But you look forward to it. I'll bet you every year.
Oh, I do, yeah. Every year I go, I question, am I going to do it again? And then 2 days later, I'm thinking about what I can do next time.
Yeah.
See, the night after the event, you're done. That's it. Yeah. That was the last one. That was my trust me, I do it on KUSI all the time. I go home and tell the wife, I said, I'm done with it. I am just absolutely done with it. Yeah. And then I'll go to breakfast and somebody will come up and say, I was on KUSI with you. And I can't thank you enough. That was the most amazing.
You guys do a great job there.
And I'm going,
guess I'm doing it again.
I guess I'm going back next weekend. All right, let's take a quick break. A whole lot more Racer Radio. Scott Delosio's coming up. The hour right here on KCBQ AM 1170, 98.6.
96.1,
Close
The
enough.
Answer.
I did get that backwards. Looped, you almost went airborne. Got totally sideways. Push. And he scrubbed off enough.
For those of you who don't know, I didn't turn on Dave's mic there, and he just let me know my favorite racer, Joey Logano.
I just hated it, too. And Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
Paris Auto Speedway. If you haven't been, then you got to put that on your bucket list. That's like going to see Mount Rushmore. I'm serious. And they had an unbelievable night last night. I think they broke all the records. And it was our favorite, Night of Destruction. Scott Delosio on the line. Man, you must have had a blast. How's your voice?
Oh, voice is fine. It was a good night. The record we broke was the amount of entries for Night of Destruction. There were 81 cars there last night.
81.
Oh,
and
Batman's back.
They weren't there that early because they have that air show down at March Air Force Base. It's once a year deal. It's yesterday and today.
Oh.
I get over 200,000 people show up for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I got there about 3:30, 4 in the afternoon. I got 5 miles from the racetrack and was standstill on the freeway. So I walked in the track and I looked in the pits. It's like, man, there's not a lot of cars here for a season opener. And just a lot of them were delaying getting caught in that traffic. And
Sure.
once again, like I said, we had 81 cars. That was a new record, had a good-sized crowd. So everything started off good with that.
You had perfect weather. I mean, it was nice last night.
Yeah, kind of the first night it was really this year where it's been pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot my jacket in the press box. It's freezing cold, so I couldn't wait to get the heck out of there. We have to. The amps are behind us for all the speakers.
Yeah.
All those big speakers, so they have to be kept really cool. And it's like even in the middle of summer, you end up freezing there.
God, that's right. I'd forgotten all about that. So good racing. Anybody outstanding finally get a win that hadn't gotten one before? Or?
Earl Cox, who's been around Southern California racing, Ascot for a lot of years. His dad was one of the kings of figure eight racing there, and he won the main event for the figure eight cars. So that was pretty cool just to see him. He's a good guy. And he's, like I say, son of a legend back in the days of Ascot. Earl actually raced at Ascot himself.
Wow.
When he was a teen, racing with his dad. But it's always fun when you get those old names that are still a family tie, that they're still around,
No, that's so good to see that, because, it's, keeping this sport alive is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So that's great.
Especially in these times.
Yeah, especially in these times. So did you do the double stacks out there last night?
Yeah, we started with 5. By the time we got to the main event, we only had one of them flipped.
Oh.
They're figuring it out.
I think I'm seeing a Volkswagen on top of a car this year.
That's the actual car that won.
Oh, yeah. Well, that makes sense.
It's that same color scheme that had the car that was backwards.
Yeah.
That's the car that flipped.
But like you said, never in a million years would you think that would have been popular, but I think it's probably one of your popular races, isn't it?
Well, for Night of Destruction, you're talking the double-deckers. They're the most popular of that.
Yeah.
As far as Night of Destruction goes, you talk to promoters around the country. I don't mean to say, it's sad to say, but when you got 410 sprint cars, you've got IMC modified race there, your biggest night is the Gong Show.
Yeah.
Isn't that
everywhere in the country?
But it's been like that forever.
Yeah.
That's how Joey Chitwood, became so famous, because he just went out and rolled cars over and crashed them and destroyed them. But when you look at the finesse of a 410, because they make it look so easy. They're just like, if I said it once, I've said it 100 times, it's ballet on dirt.
It is.
And those drivers need to know how to dance. And it's, and nobody wants to see a wreck in those races, but when you come to Night of Destruction, that's all they want to see.
Yeah, that's what it's there for. It's just, it's fun. Seldom people get hurt. These cars are not, most of them are not super fast cars, so you don't have to worry about that as much. It's rough and tumble, no doubt.
Right.
It's basically, most of the classes, there's no rules.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Knock them out of the way. You want to run them in the wall, you can do that.
The only rule is there's no rule. That's amazing. So how do you call those races? Because do you know all the drivers?
I've got a pretty good memory, so I can pretty much memorize a roster that whole night.
Wow.
Right.
Personally, I know less of those guys than I do, our sprint cars and our stock cars.
Yeah. Well, I've always said that's a sign of a good announcer, the man that knows his audience, and I call that the drivers, because I've done your job, and I'll tell you what, folks, if you think it's easy, you go try it. It is not easy because if you don't know what the heck you're talking about, or you don't know the people on the track, it's tough. And I know you don't like taking credit, but I got to tell you, out of all the announcers I've listened to, and I'm way older than you, you've definitely got a handle. And Tom McGrath, I put you right up there with a little Tommy McGrath. I don't know if you ever knew him.
I used to work some midget races down there back in the days. That was back in my Speedway motorcycle days, just photography and writing articles. And I went to El Cajon, but just when the midgets were there.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. But he reminded me so much of you, because he was doing exactly the same thing. He was all into, He knew the families. He knew the names of the drivers. He knew the history of the cars. Me, I'd say if you don't paint your name big on their roof, I ain't calling it.
That's part of the job. You've got
Part of the job, Dave.
I know.
You've got to remember who the stars of the show are, not the announcer.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. But, like I said, I never, ever, ever, ever protested to say I was a good announcer. I mean, I did my very best, but you got to know you got to know your audience.
You found your place on radio.
I found my place on radio where I would because, Scott knows exactly what he's doing. It's a passion for him, and that's the cool part. So we're a quarter of the way through the season?
Oh, not even.
Yeah, not close.
Yeah, we've had just 4 races this year. This coming Saturday will be our 5th. Running stock cars and IMCA modified Saturday, and then we take a couple weeks off, and I'll be up in Arizona announcing sprint cars.
Oh.
But yeah, we take a couple weeks off, then we come back through, I think, like the end of June.
Okay. All right.
Just 1 or 2, mostly this year, I think it's like 1 Saturday off a month. I mean, obviously May is not because we're heading up to Arizona, but about 1 Saturday off a month.
Yeah. So, legally speaking, how's everything going with the water department? Or is that
everything's pretty much to the point right now that there's a trial date set for September, and they're just waiting for that to come around. Hopefully, like I say, I keep telling the story to people. It's like the state tried to get the DWR, which is run by the state.
Right.
They tried to get that lawsuit thrown out of court 4 times, and every time the judge refused to do it. So, as of right now, hopefully they'll settle before.
Well, that's a good sign. That's a good sign that the judges. Yeah. And it's so funny because my first show's all off road, and I'm sure you've been to Pismo Beach.
Long time ago.
Well, they're trying to close it. Okay, they're saying there's vehicles. So the judge, they've been trying to cancel the lawsuit, and the judge 4 times has thrown it out, saying no, it's going through. Yeah. So that gives me a little bright hope. Just in that in itself. Well, that's good. So I just, I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but, I'm sure if Don had any news, he needed my help, I'm sure he'd reach out.
Yeah. I mean, right now, it's just good. Hopefully this is coming to a conclusion in just about 4 months, just for his sake. I mean, it's been a strain on him, and it's been a strain on the guy from the concert venue right now who's also part of the lawsuit.
Yeah.
Those guys have been stressed out now for over a year.
Jesus. Hey, not to change the subject, but are you running the Young Guns series this year?
Yeah, actually, last year when we ran the Young Guns, we had 1 through like August.
Right.
Stevie Rogers, who won the championship.
Uh-huh.
And then Alexa Smith came up and ran the last 2 races, I think, and then a lady by the name of Tuesday Calderwood was the 3rd one to run, but she only ran 1 race. So this year, we were figuring just 3 cars, that's what we were counting, like 3 cars were going to be there, and all of a sudden the first night there were 6 of them.
What?
Mm-hmm. And the second night there were 7.
Son of a gun.
So, we first started that, we probably started off with 10 or 12 cars, then it just dropped, because we're on a sprint car.
Yeah.
To go buy your 14-year-old kid a 360 sprint car is no cheap deal.
No.
And to rent one is not that cheap either. And if you wreck it, then it's really not.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
But it's been, for some reason, they just came out of the woodwork this year, and hopefully there'll be more. When you look at down through the drivers it's developed, it's worked out very well.
Oh.
We've got Logan Williams, who runs CRA now.
Yeah.
Courtney Crone, who, her goal is to run the Indy 500, and this year she's running a series in Germany.
Wow.
Living over there full time. So
she's
it's
amazing.
Produced a lot of good drivers, sprint cars, like, say, Courtney Crone.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit for her. She's 20 or 21 years old and climbing the ladder fast.
Well, and then Rayborn, there was a kid.
Rayborn ran it. Yeah, there's quite a few. Matt McCarthy ran it. Eddie Sequoia Jr.
No, it's trust me, I think it's a great growing event, for these young drivers to move up the ranks. That's great. I'm glad to hear you running it again.
Like I say, the only problem with it is, the cost of running a sprint car.
Yeah.
For some reason, all of a sudden, they came out of the woodwork this year. I mean, if they're not like a CRA car, which by the way, Brody Rowe won last night up in Hanford.
Yay!
Well, of course he did.
A CRA car where you're putting on two close to $400 right rear tires.
Yeah.
But still, if you want to buy a new right rear tire to run the Young Guns, it's still $375 or $390 now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, hey, man, we can't thank you enough for everything you do. Folks, go to ParisAutoSpeedway.com. He's on Facebook, I think Instagram. Just get hooked up to where you'll get all the alerts, all the news. And if you've not been, it's the best time you'll ever have because you'll be going back. Sir?
Sounds great.
Thank you very much. Take the kids for a walk.
All right, man. They'll go out as soon as it cools off.
All right, folks. This Paris Auto Speedway. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, that guy Burnworth, he wants to talk more about motorcycles. Right here on Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
All right, folks. Welcome back to Racer Radio, the best motorsports show you'll ever listen to. Right here in San Diego with our good buddy, Britney Sandoval, number 37. Certified Car Clinic. Not only can they tune it up, they throw it on the dyno, make that thing go stupid fast. 11370 North Woodside Avenue. Go to certifiedcarcare.net. All right, who'd you drag in today?
Scott and Debbie Burnworth. All about vintage motocross.
Getting dirty.
Playing in the dirt. I was wondering when you were smiling and talking about how hard this event is, but you love it and you do it. Does this one over to my right, is this like...
She gets dirty. Yeah.
She gets dirty.
She gets dirty, yeah.
I mean, could you do it without her?
No.
Oh.
No.
Because I see her running around. I've been there.
I'll say most of the work up to the race, it's me, and then coming up to the race, and then at the race, she's like full on.
Yeah, because you're.
Because I'm like, I don't want to deal with this.
So why do you jump in?
T-shirts.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Why do you jump in, Debbie?
Somebody's got to keep the glue. Right?
It's worth it, though, right?
Keep it alive. Keep it going.
Well, aren't they great people?
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
And I think that's really what it is. If they were all buttheads, you wouldn't have anything to do with it. But it's such a family because you all have the same desires. You all have got great stories. See, that's the thing.
Many. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Did you just say too many?
No, but these stories need to be categorized and get on air. Like, we haven't had Marty in a long time.
Nope.
Stripes?
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, my God. That's
Where are you,
him.
Marty? He's down Ocotillo.
That's a
I've asked.
2-hour radio show right there.
One of the funniest interviews we've had.
Yeah, it's kind of like talking to John Force. All you got to do is start him and leave the room. But you know what?
Hopefully Marty will show up. If we tell him the barbecue is going to be there, I think he might.
There you go. Oh, Marty, did you hear that?
Did you hear that, Marty? What about that? Tomahawk still owes me a steak.
You're thinking Joe Stedman.
Huh?
You're thinking Joe Stedman.
Smoking Joe.
That's not Tomahawk.
No. They are not the same people.
But he still owes me a steak. He told me he was going to give me a steak.
They're good friends, though.
Yes.
He told me he would give me a steak, and he never.
Oh, yeah. Because Tommy works with Joe.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's Joe who owes you,
he's the one
according to you.
Heartland Meat Company.
What do you mean, according to me? You were here. Oh, we're playing the fifth?
No, you're right. You're actually the, yes.
Thank you very much.
No, yes.
You want bacon, don't you?
Joe, you owe Dave.
You know where I'm going. I'm going to Wisconsin.
Oh.
I know. I wonder if they'll let me carry it on the airplane.
Yeah.
All right, so talk about your event. First one coming up.
May 7th at Verona. We have an open
Verona Oaks.
Yeah, Verona Oaks, VeronaMX.com.
And that's past the circle track to the right.
Just past the circle track.
Keep going
down the
bit.
hill.
Exactly, down the hill.
Do you have a sign?
There's a sign out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Have Debbie stand out there with balloons.
Put some banners out there.
There you go. We'll give you something.
You can see it.
Yeah, right. She's over there going.
But you have practice
there
on
is
the
an open
6th.
practice on the 6th, which is open to anybody, young. Well, our races too, but there's an open practice so you can take your bike out there, try it, tune it up, tune your body up. It's all good.
What if they want to stay overnight?
There's camping too. It's very nice to camp there. I'll be camping there.
Do they charge?
So, yeah, it's $25 per vehicle per night, and then $10 a person.
All right.
Yeah. Good deal. It's a good deal these days.
Can a 2021 monkey race?
Yeah. Anything.
There
with 2
you
wheels.
go, girl.
I think I would rather race my KX100. Race?
My heart is
That'll work.
broken.
Race the KX100.
My heart.
We have some fast
It might
girls
fall.
out there.
I don't want to scratch the
My
monkey.
heart is broken.
Why would I want to scratch that custom paint job?
Oh, my. Well, there is a point. Yeah. And you know what? Oh. Keep talking.
We also have a 2-man mini team race. So any mini bike, any air cooled mini bike, we have 3 classes, and it's 2 men or women, whatever. And then you switch each lap. So it's kind of fun.
Do they? Oh, thank you. So, can you describe that one more time? I want to make sure I got this right.
The mini team race. So one guy starts, you go 1 lap, you switch, and it's.
So he jumps off.
Yeah.
That's where I was
Team
going.
race.
Is there it's so competitive that the bike never stops? Do people
pretty
jump
much.
off and throw
exactly.
themselves on?
How many laps?
We'll probably do 3 laps each, maybe 6 laps total.
Oh, that sounds fun. What?
Wow.
Yeah, should be fun.
That should be a
That's our monkey there. You want to do that one? You and me?
Yeah, you could do it, Dave.
Heck yeah, I could do anything. Are you kidding? My brain says I can do anything. I'm only 18.
You could do it with Britney.
Hey, I'm only 18. I mean, how bad could it be? My wife's at a dog show right now where I crashed with Yamaha and broke 4 ribs and punctured a lung. So she keeps asking me, "Where do you think on the up to your right?" Just imagine a turn right there.
Oh.
I know. City of Industry.
Are you talking about these new divisions here?
Yeah. You got how many new divisions? I mean, how many divisions altogether would you say?
We also have we added a dual sport class, so guys with the dual sport bikes can ride. Because there's a lot of guys that have vintage bikes that ride dual sport bikes. On other weekends or whatever. So we got a dual sport class. Pretty much anything.
How many classes altogether?
There's a lot.
Because really, if whatever you have,
apparently.
you'll find a spot for them.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think
Modern bikes, vintage bikes, whatever.
No limit, no age limit.
Nope.
Age on the bike or the person?
Well, no, either one. That sounds like I'd get an XR 750 Harley.
All are welcome.
Imagine that. Imagine hanging on
XR
to that.
75.
Or even a Ducati or a Buell. Those older Buells. Is that a gorilla to drive or ride?
That would be hard.
That would be hard.
I love those.
Even
things.
for you, huh, Scott?
They were no, those are nasty bikes. They
That
don't.
was kind of a street bike, so I never rode one of those.
You never rode one?
No.
Man, first time I did, it's like, ooh wee, what have I done?
Wait, while you were riding or the next day?
Well, pretty much the whole time, because this bike was not happy. It was angry. I mean, it was literally angry, and I could tell it was angry. So I was really nice to it, so it wouldn't bite
Spit
me.
you off.
Yeah.
But if you're into vintage motors, and the vintage motorcycle industry has really. Have you been?
And that's what I'm saying. It's people are using it in their movies. Younger people.
know.
It's like the Steve McQueen thing again.
Yeah.
It's cool to be on an old bike. And
have you been to Meekham's
Meekham's
motorcycle
No, I want
auction
to go.
in Vegas?
That'd be really cool.
No, you can't go.
No,
Why?
I wanna go.
Because
Unless you give her the checkbook, give her your wallet, and your socks.
Our daughter lives in Vegas, so we got a good excuse.
Is he going to pull that trigger? Well, I tell you, I want to go too, but I'm smarter than I know.
I'd like to be selling something, not buying.
No, not me,
Do
man.
both, even swap.
I hate to say it, but I want a 305 Scrambler.
Yeah, that's funny.
can find it.
You brought that up again because.
And the prices are still somewhat $2,500, $3,000.
Do you have
Some
a
stuff, yeah.
Do you have a Scrambler jacket or something?
No.
Oh, I have a listener. Dave wore a jacket to the Barona Awards last year. I noticed
Oh. Yeah, that was my Barona jacket that the Barona folks gave me.
Oh, Barona Oaks. I thought it was the Scrambler.
Oh, I wish.
Out at Barona Oaks when I was out there, I felt like I saw a gentleman that restores older motorcycles. That's his thing.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah,
Right.
I was gonna say.
but I mean, that's his profession. And
There's a lot of them.
well,
Yeah, there
out
is a lot
there.
of them.
Well,
he
because
was out there with a team.
But see,
of
the
them.
vintage motorcycle community, as I was mentioning, is massive. Okay.
And then there's always guys that specialize in, CZs or Makos.
That's what this gentleman was doing.
Bultacos, or
Right.
that's the beauty of your sport.
Yeah.
They don't die.
No.
they just get recycled.
They just get another bike.
And again, we're talking motorcycles, not people.
And or the bikes get recycled. There's people out there that make a living making replica parts. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were taught, my wife's cousin's got a Roadrunner 446 pack air grabber, and the canister's bad. I wasn't even done. But the canister's bad. So I told him, I said, it's 1970. It's a frickin' 303 vegetable can. We make the canister, and we can sell it for $500 a pop.
There is a company called Vintco that came in a couple of years now, and they make old parts for old bikes.
Yeah.
So they're doing really well.
Yeah, and all you have to do is either get the drawings or the,
approval.
There's all kinds of ways.
Because a lot of the bikes you can't find certain parts, so they make certain parts you can get now. So it's
I think
cool.
they call that that 3D imaging thing.
Yeah,
almost. All you almost have to do is have a photo of it. And you can replicate it. All right. So what's the second event?
Carlsbad MX reunion on October 1st at Booze Brothers Brewing in Vista.
What? Booze Brothers.
Booze do
Brothers,
they have food there?
Yeah, we'll have food.
It's not
you
just
like
booze.
It?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It depends. It's it's actually pizza now. They have their in-house pizza. It's good. It's like wood-fired pizza.
Oh, can't go wrong with that.
Awesome beers.
You're looking for
all
bacon.
kinds of different beer.
You're looking for bacon.
I like pizza too. I like food.
And the best thing, free admission.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right. So Facebook.
12 to 5, yeah.
That's where you get all
Carlsbad MX reunion. Most of it's on my Facebook or Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sounds like fun. Send me some dates. I'm going to be gone, like I said, next week, but we'll get some dates for the two events. And
what about KOSI? We're on next week.
That's what. Well, that's right. You are coming on the 30th. What are we promoting?
Yeah. The same event? Race, yeah. So
the race.
How come you're not in charge?
The race.
How come you're not in charge?
There's a race coming,
David. How come you're
David?
not in charge? You're supposed to.
We're gonna
you got the
some
shirt.
Out.
You got the shirt. Now that's the second event.
Yeah.
Cool shirts, by the way.
I know. We were talking about that in the green room. Always soft shirts.
Debbie, it was really nice talking to you. That was absolutely a wonderful show. That'll go down in history. All right. This is Racer. Gun Owners Radio right around the corner.
Want to thank you guys for letting us come on again. Appreciate it.
Hey, all you got to do is talk to my secretary. She'll hook you up. FM 96.1 AM 1178.
The answer.
This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.